Golden State didn't have a single draft pick coming into the draft. They paid a record $3.5 million for Chicago's 38th pick. They made that pick count by selecting Oregon power forward Jordan Bell. He was one of the best defensive players in college basketball last season. He averaged 2.2 blocks per game and had 15 games of 3 blocks or more. Bell is the type of guy the Warriors were looking for and the player other teams need to help defeat the Warriors. Playing on a team where you have 3 of the best shooters of all time, Bell's defense is as valuable than anything. Whatever he gives you on offense is a bonus. My grade for the Golden State Warriors is a B. The Clippers originally didn't have any picks before the draft started. They ended the night with 2 quality second-round picks. The Clippers acquired the rights to point guard Jawan Evans at 39 from Philadelphia. Evans doesn't blow you away with speed or athleticism, but he makes up for it with crafty quickness and scoring creativity. He's a floor general and is lethal in the pick and roll. Evans can score from almost anywhere on the court, and he was a dead-eye shooter from deep in his sophomore season, shooting 41% from three-point range. Even though he only stands at 5'11", he makes up for it with a near 6'6" wingspan. He improved from his freshman season as a scorer and a passer. And maybe Jawan will have plenty of opportunity on the court in his rookie year if Chris Paul decides to leave in free agency. The Clippers bought the 48th pick from the Bucks for South Carolina's Sindarius Thornwell. He led the Gamecocks to a berth in the Final Four. He has all the makings to becoming a 3-and-D player. At 6'5" with a 6'10" wingspan and a 215-pound frame, he's already physical enough on defense to hold his own right away. He improved his shooting throughout his college career, and that will help to continue to be an effective player on the next level. My grade for the Los Angeles Clippers is a B+. Who knows if Josh Jackson was trying to discourage the Celtics from drafting him, but the Suns were definitely thrilled for the chance to draft him at 4. The Suns' biggest needs heading into the draft were wing defense and outside shooting. Jackson should be able to provide the defense support right off the bat, but he improved his jump shot throughout his freshman season at Kansas. He is very quick laterally and make good decisions on defense. Jackson was getting consideration for the number 1 pick. He brings toughness and versatility that every team covets. At 32, the Suns drafted shooting guard Davon Reed from Miami. Reed has great physical attributes, standing 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan. He's a very good defender and has active hands as he averaged 1.3 steals per game last season. Reed averaged around 15 points and 5 rebounds as a senior, hitting 40% of his three-pointers. The Suns really addressed their 2 pressing needs in their first 2 draft picks. At 54, the Suns went with the power forward out of Valpo, Alec Peters. He was projected on some draft boards as a late first-rounder, but maybe it was mostly because of a stress fracture in his foot that he suffered late in the season. That's to the Suns' benefit. Peters is a very gifted offensive player on both the perimeter and in the low post, but he doesn't have the length he needs at the position, and maybe he will be a bit of a defensive liability at times. My grade for the Phoenix Suns is an A-. How many times do you come away from a draft and say the Sacramento Kings had a good night? After this draft, most people would definitely give the Kings a high grade. Amazingly, they drafted both for need and best available in most spots. They coveted Fox almost more than any other guard in the draft, except for probably Markelle Fultz. The Kings selected their guy De'Aaron Fox with the number 5 pick. This guy's one of the fastest players in the draft with the ball in his hands. He has the fire and tenacity that is infectious and can motivate teammates. He has the tools to become a high-level defender at his position, and he could become a star if he can be a more consistent jump shooter. The Kings made an excellent trade to move back for 1 more additional pick. They traded the 10th pick for the Blazers' 15th and 20th pick. Justin Jackson was their guy at 15, who was a solid choice. The ACC Player of the Year will provide Sacramento help at the small forward position, and he can do a little bit of everything. The Kings will need him to play solid defense and be a knockdown shooter, and he will get plenty of opportunities playing with a player like De'Aaron Fox. With the 20th pick, the Kings could afford to take a gamble on a former number 1 recruit coming out of high school. They selected Harry Giles from Duke University. While they were few and far between, Giles did show some occasional flashes of what made him so special in high school. If he hits, based on where he was drafted, this could be the biggest steal in the draft. And as if the Kings needed another good draft pick, they selected Player of the Year point guard Frank Mason at 34. He doesn't have the size of a typical point guard, but he brings toughness both offensively and defensively. Mason is well equipped to lead the second unit and provide the spark off the bench that this young team needs. My grade for the Sacramento Kings is an A+. Even though in the last couple of weeks, there was speculation that the Lakers weren't completely sold on Lonzo with the second pick, I didn't buy it, not one bit. The fit just made too much sense. Just the way that he sees the floor and pushes the pace, he's tailor-made to run Luke Walton's offense. And the fact that Lonzo was the draft's most popular player, and the Lakers always looking for star power, it was a match made in heaven. With D'Angelo Russell out the picture, Lonzo will be able to take over the reins of Luke Walton's offense from day one. I wasn't sure if Russell would have fully embraced the idea of the Lakers selecting another point guard. Questions still remain about his unusual shooting motion and his on-the-ball defense. And before the draft, the Lakers made a deal with the Brooklyn Nets to trade away D'Angelo Russell and Timofey Mozgov for the 27th pick and all-star center Brook Lopez. This was a great trade for the Lakers. They were able to get rid of the terrible contract of Mozgov at the expense of Russell. The trade could be the start of the Lakers being able to clear enough cap space for 2 max players in 2018. With the 27th pick, the Lakers selected Kyle Kuzma out of Utah. Kuzma brings impressive offensive versatility with his ability to handle the rock, pass, and shoot. He was a double-double machine at Utah, averaging around 16 points and 9 rebounds per game in his final season. I'm not sure how much playing time he will get his rookie year, playing behind Randall and Nash Jr. The Lakers made a trade late in the first round, moving down 2 spots from 28 to 30. They selected the NCAA champion, shooting guard Josh Hart. This was another excellent pick for the Lakers. I wouldn't say he does anything elite. He's just good in a multitude of ways. He's constantly working hard to improve his game and has a high basketball IQ. Hart thrives on the defensive end, and at 6'6", he will have no problems guarding the 1 and the 2 spot. He's a player that's not going to look for a shot all the time, but simply make the right basketball play. Thomas Bryant was the Lakers' pick at 42. He's a high-energy guy whose size and ability to shoot the 3 are his biggest selling point. Bryant is not polished on offense or defense, but his potential as a defensive stopper and a stretch big is worth it at 42. He stands at 6'11" with a crazy 7'6" wingspan. He wasn't as productive at Indiana as many scouts hoped for in his sophomore season, but he's still only 19 years old. He has a few years to develop and will likely play in the G League during his rookie season. My grade for the Los Angeles Lakers is an A+.